crafty friends, it's Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Banana, and in today's video we are going to make some cute tags for the Sunbonnet Sue journals. What will you need? You can go grab my free digital over on Ko-Fi. I'm on Ko-Fi as Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Banana. You can also get to Ko-Fi if you go to my YouTube post. I have several of my digitals linked there, and once you're over there, you see all of them. So here's some words and phrases from the digitals that are available for the Sunbonnet Sue series. And I pulled these hoping I'll be able to cut out some phrases and things to put on these tags. We'll see if they'll have what I need or not. That was the plan. And then I have some of my small pieces of feed sack here, original vintage feed sack that I'm going to put on some of the tags and to choose from. So I've got that pulled, and then I have 2 sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock, and it's not as thick as some cardstock, but it's not the thin either. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is make about 8 tags, because I want to have, I've got 6 journals, and then I'll give away a set of embellishments in the wrap party, and I like to have a set for myself to put in my ideal journal. So I've got to decide how I want to cut this. I think we'll do 6-inch tags. That way we're not wasting any of the paper. I think that would be good. So the first thing we're doing is cutting our 12 by 12 paper in half. And let's see here. So we could make them 3 by 6, and one sheet would give us 8 tags. But I might make more than that since I went ahead and pulled 2 sheets. We can go ahead and get these cut to 3 inches. I think that looks all right. And then trim them up there at the top. I think that makes a nice size tag. I'm going to be putting little bits of material on there, so I have to make sure I give myself space enough to put the material on and sew it. Alrighty. Let's start with these. I'm going to set this off to the side. I don't think I need that anymore. So that. And where's my little stencil at? I like to use this stencil to get my edges for my tags. That way they're the same on each side. And then once I get one done, I use it to cut the rest. This is something, if you've got leftover scrapbook paper, manila folder, or even really thick book pages, you can just have these bases made up and put to the side to pull when you need to make tags for a journal or a project. I have been a little under the weather with seasonal allergies. I think that's all it is. I've had a headache since Friday and been taking my allergy medicine and all all that good stuff, but hopefully that goes away soon. If you're using scrapbook paper, you'll want to be aware if it's directional. I just noticed I was cutting some of these with the foliage upside down, which this print's small enough. I don't think it's going to hurt one way or the other, but I have switched to it being right side up. I wanted to mention I did put up my Sunbonnet Sue kits over on Ko-Fi, so if you are interested in getting a kit for the Sunbonnet Sue series, they are available for purchase over there. Okay, next thing I want to do is go ahead and place my hole in my tag. If you do not already have this is the smallest circle punch you can get at Hobby Lobby, and then this is the next size up. If you do not already have those, I recommend those because you can make your tags, plus you can make the reinforcers by having these two that will go around this. I have started sewing signatures in the journals. Got four more journals to sew signatures into. I've got 2 done. I figure I'll do a couple a day this week. All right, let's see here. I made a couple of these up ahead of time so I could see if I like the way they look. If I do, we'll make some more together. I'm using Fabri-Tac just so I get a nice good hold. Sometimes when I'm using sometimes when I'm using wallpaper, that's what the reinforcer's made out of. It doesn't hold as well with the PVA glue. I should say it does eventually, but like that instant hold, yep, I like that. I think that'll make for a very pretty tag. So let's go ahead and cut out some more of these. I need enough for 6 more. That was 4. That was enough for 2 tags. Okay, here we go. So I start by doing the small hole first, and I just space them about 1 inch apart. And then I come back in with the larger hole punch, and I center that, and then that gives me my reinforcer for the tags. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do 4 more. Isn't that just the cutest little tag ever? It's amazing what just putting the right colors together. I mean, we're just working with paper and wallpaper here and how that makes such a difference. All right. Don't need those anymore. I'm going to go ahead and take the time to glue all these on. Hopefully you guys don't mind me having a little longer video to make these. It's a really simple idea. I think when you see the finished product, you'll like it, and you'll see how it can translate to a lot of different projects based on just the color scheme. If you can match up your color scheme, you can go with a lot of different themes. And you can, the text that I'm going to put on here, you can get out of, if you used an old book, you can get your text from the old book you've used to make your journal, or I know Tim Holtz has the little saying pads. That would be a good thing to use on these as well. Or make your own. If you guys have ChatGPT or even just a word processor on your computer, you're going to be able to make your own if you want. All right. I love this light pale green color. It is so pretty. Be a pretty accent wall in a home, I think, or like wallpaper. The pattern on this tag would be pretty in a house. So you guys, some of my YouTube friends out there that have YouTube channels, this weekend I was so wanting someone to do a live, and I almost did, so we could hop on and visit, but we need to figure out a schedule for if someone does a live on Sunday, to like, if you have time and want to do a live crafting, we can do that. I think that would be fun, and we could take turns on who does the live. I know we've got some live sales coming up for Brass Twigs, Khadija, and it's called, I think she's doing one with Blossom and Expire on the 28th of August, and then I believe Maddie's doing one on Labor Day. Matt and Linda Yet Designs is doing one on, these are sales, but these ladies do a great job of curating items. And if you're needing anything, or if you're not needing anything, but you enjoy hanging out in the comments of a sale, come hang out and support your fellow YouTubers. This community is so much fun. And it's neat to see different parts of the United States. People are able to get totally different items. I know I've ordered slow stitch kits from overseas, and it's amazing, like in England, the different materials that they have access to in plenty compared to what we do. Because, you know, over here, our doilies and hand crocheted items can be pretty expensive, especially if they're antique. And over there, they seem to have a larger quantity of them. But I enjoy using different suppliers for different items. Tomorrow's video will be me working on the tassels for the Sunbonnet Sue series. I'm going to be adding beads and charms, that sort of thing. So it's hashtag Trinket Tuesday. I'm just going to work on those. When I make a tassel for a journal, it does take me a little while. I usually just do one at a time. This is the first time I've made 6 simultaneously. But you'll get to see how I've got all 6 made. I've started adding some things to them. And see how they're turning out. All right. Okay, so we've got that done. Now then, let's pick some fabrics. And I'm keeping in mind for my Sunbonnet Sue journals, I have a pink, a purple, a yellow, a blue, a green, and a tan and blue block. So I kind of want my fabric to coordinate as best as it can with that, but obviously using what I have. All right, so I like that. We've got that piece that's a maybe. This is identical to one of the ones on there. That's a maybe. Ooh, I like this blue better than the other blue. Let's do this one for sure. Let's see here, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Oh, look at that pretty green. Is that going to be enough of a contrast though, or is that going to blend? I really love that. That's a maybe. Let's see. Now instead of that other blue, we could do, what about that one? That one. But I like that one better. I want these to kind of be pasteled, and that would match the one. I like that one. Boy, if I could find a pink or a purple, that would be perfect. Probably don't have that though. Could use this for some yellow. All right. Okay. So let me put these over here. I think I've made my choice on my materials. And I'll use this as my guide for cutting out my little squares. I need 8 of each color. Here we go. This does not have to be an exact science as far as cutting these little squares out. We're just trying to get them close to the same. That's what we're doing. All right. There's that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's some yellows. Now then, I'm debating. I know I want to do this green one. Okay, now let's do this tan one. But I wish they had materials like this still. I know we can get reproductions, but they just don't make material like this anymore. I did not do a very good job at cutting that. Let's see here. 2, 4. I'll probably be able to use that one, not 6. I need 2 more. Normally I probably wouldn't save my little bitty bits like I am with this fabric, but this fabric is so precious because I have such a small amount of it that I'm saving every little bit I have within reason. I'm guessing these 4 fabrics will probably be enough. So let me kind of put them on here and take a look and see if I believe that is the case. And I'm just putting these on here haphazardly. Doesn't matter which way they are on here. Alright, I think we'll do green next. Gosh, I love that green. It's so pretty. And then the blue after that. Is that the order I want them in or not? I still wish I had a pink or a blue there. Pink would really set that off. Let's see here. I don't see any of my other material on here, so we're just going to go with what we've got. All right, so then I'm just going to run a line of glue down. I'm going to sew these so the glue is just doesn't have to be substantial. It's just mainly to help them stay in place when I'm gluing, when I'm sewing. And again, it's not about them being in a precise order or anything like that. It's more about them just being laid haphazardly on there, and then I'll sew them. Okay. I wonder if I kind of switch it up and put them on here in different, how that might look. there's that. I like that one. I think that's the color order I'm going to do. All right. All right, I won't put you through me putting fabric on all of these. I'll go ahead and get started on the next step. All right, here we go. Let me move my sewing machine up. And all we are doing is putting a straight stitch down the center of this. So I'm going to do a 1 for my stitch number and 3.5 in length. I'm going to start it just at the top, a little before the material starts, because I want to see that stitch running through there. And I'm going down through the center of these. And then same thing at the bottom. If you wanted to do a fancy stitch going down the center of them, you could certainly do that as well. But you can see I just did a straight stitch down the middle of the fabrics there. I'm going to do these real quick, and then we will pick a saying and put a tassel on these. I wanted to try a couple different tassels out to see which one I like best. this is what we have. I think these are cute even if I didn't do anything else to them except add a tie on top. And I was thinking I pulled this green tie I could use on top, and I think that's what I'm going to use. But I was also thinking some of the leftover material from the quilt blocks might be cute up there too. So I'm going to tear one and see which way I like it best. So there's that. I would obviously trim that down, or I can do this. And just give it a little tie up here. Which one do I like better? I kind of like them both, but I think for the feel of the journals, I'm going to go with the green. But I like to try different things. That's how you find out which way you like it best, for sure. I just want to do something with this leftover. I've got several strips of it. I just want to do something with it. I haven't figured out what that is yet, but I will. Do you guys ever do that? Have a piece of scrap that it's like, I love this piece of scrap too much to not do something with it? Then we will play around with some of these words and see if we think any of them work with these or if they look better without the words. That's next. This is a simple little make, but you can see what a big impact it can have within a journal, making simple embellishments and ephemera, especially when you layer it with some of your more involved embellishments. Because I think the layering within the journal is also what makes them so neat and fun to explore when you give them to someone. And what's nice about tags, tags can go in pockets, they can be used for tucks. It's a good base to have, like I said, just make them up and then you can put your what you need for the theme of your journal at a later time. It's a good mass make. All right, let's see what we've got here. It'd be really pretty if I could maybe bring in the pinks with the wording. Let's try that. You guys know I use ChatGPT a lot when I'm making digitals, and I've been using it today to try and come up with a logo to put in like a little thank you card when someone places an order for a kit or a journal. And I have struggled with it all day. I felt like what I was asking was not too hard, and me and Chat did not get along today. Okay, let's see here. She learns to read. Sue learns to read. So let's start by, if we cut the words like that, does that fit, or do we need to cut them down more? I like that. I think that's cute. What do you guys think? With or without wording. I think the wording adds a little something. I'm going to ink it around it to add some dimension. Ooh, a little messy on the ink in there. I didn't realize this pad was so juicy. It's okay. I think pink and green look good together, so that will look neat. Let's see if we can find some more sayings that we like. And then do we like it messy like that or straight? And do we want it at the bottom? Kind of like it at the bottom, I think. Okay, let's get another one. Here's another pink one. Remember, if you do go to Ko-Fi and print off one of my digitals, they are completely free. The way it's done, though, you do have to put in 0.00 in the dollar amount field, but in no way do you need to feel like you need to put a dollar amount in there. I have them in there for the purpose of being free. Like I said, I'm using ChatGPT, and I just wouldn't feel right about charging for them using that software. And sometimes because of that, they are not always as perfect as someone who makes digitals on other platforms. Okay, let's see. Let's do this in 3. Okay. I think I'll try doing a couple with yellow for the background. Well, I don't have any yellow ink with me though. I think I'll stick to pink. Okay. I'm just gluing these down. If you had the patience to sew around these, that would be a neat added detail as well, but I think inking around them serves the same purpose. But depending on how much detail and layering texture you want to put in yours, that's an idea. The texture paste would be something fun to put on a corner as well to add more texture to it. I think I'm going to cut this one and have it be 3 too. I like that look. All right, guys, I think I'm going to stop here so this video doesn't get too long for you. But I will, after the video shuts off, keep making these for the journals. Don't forget to keep it cute, keep it crafty, and keep making something out of nothing. Bye!